guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna teach you how to make a traditional Chinese prosperity cake that represents good fortune and blessing for wealth. Check it out. Hi new friends, this is Erica right here. I'm a Taiwanese citizen currently living in America. Cooking and traveling is my passion, so I'm here to share with you my favorite Asian recipes. On top of that, I also make videos talking about food knowledge and the history background of the dish on this channel. So if that interests you, please subscribe and keep watching. It's almost my favorite holiday in the year, the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is a holiday that a family will gather together and eat a lot of food. Doesn't that sound familiar? Yeah, if you never celebrate Chinese New Year before, it is basically the Chinese Christmas. Today we're making a traditional Chinese rice cake that is indispensable in this special holiday. But first, let me share with you the origin story of this Chinese rice cake so you will know why is this rice cake dessert signify good luck and prosperity. What is this Chinese prosperity cake? In Chinese culture, the traditional rice steam cake is a blessing pastry for New Year's. It is very commonly seen in not only China, Taiwan, and also in Southeast Asia. The traditional method of making the steamed rice cake is made by mixing rice milk with sugar and steam it after fermentation. The fermentation will cause the cake to rise and create a flour-like cracks on the top of the cake. And unlike the Western cupcake, a successful Chinese steamed rice cake will have a big crack on the top of the surface. And as a matter of fact, the bigger the crack, the better. Because in Chinese, the action of rising and the fermentation, we call it fa, and the same character fa also means wealth. So over time, this flour-like cracked steamed cake become a good dessert to share with your loved ones and wish them a good fortune. Also in the Hakka culture, they also recognize this rice cake as a good deed and good fortune food. The prosperity cake back in the day are always pink because in Chinese culture, the red series color signifies auspicious. Pink, of course, is no exception. But nowadays, people start to be aware of their health preservations. So nowadays, I don't really see much of the artificial pigment in the prosperity cake anymore. And instead, there are different types of flavor of prosperity cake popping in the market, such as the chocolate flavor, the mocha flavor, as well as the brown sugar flavor that we're making today. So, without further ado, let's look at our ingredients today so I can share with you this special recipe for the new year. Here's our ingredient that we'll need for today's Chinese brown sugar prosperity cakes. Here we need some rice flour, some cake flour, brown sugar or dark brown sugar, which in Chinese we call it red sugar. I know that's weird. We need some coconut milk, some sugar, normal sugar, castor sugar, and some vegetable oil. Here I'm using the olive oil, but if you have corn oil, it will be more aromatic that way. Besides that, we'll need some cupcake mold, or you can also use a teacup or a bowl, and also some baking powder. And the exact amount of the ingredients will be listed in the description box down below. Before we get started, let's heat up our steamer. Make sure you fill up the steamer with water as much as you can. I'll explain why later. Now, while the steamer is heating up, let's prep 200 milliliters of hot water and add in your dark brown sugar as well as the normal castor sugar. Mix them well together until all the sugar has melted. Then put it into the fridge to cool down. Next, get a mixing bowl and sift in the rice flour, the cake flour, as well as the baking powder. When that's all done, make sure to mix the powder well together. Sifting the powder is very important right here because it can make the batter more smooth and is less likely to create clumps. Now our syrup has cooled down, let's mix it into the powder. Add in your sugar syrup into the mixing bowl and gently mix them well together. I like to use a whisk right here, but if you don't have one, you can also use a spatula or a spoon, of course. But if you have a whisk, make sure you use that so we can create a smoother outcome. I like to whisk in the center first, make sure everything is smooth, and then I'll add in the powder from the side slowly. As soon as you see that the liquids are all gone, you can add in your coconut milk and mix them well together. The traditional prosperity cake only use water in this recipe, but I personally love to add in a little bit of coconut milk to give it some extra aroma and also a little hint of coconut taste. Gently mix in the batter till you can see no powder left and turn into a honey-like consistency. Add in the last ingredient, vegetable oil. Mix them well together and the batter is ready. The traditional prosperity cake are normally made with a teacup, one of those traditional small teacup. But let's be honest, I drink my tea with mugs. So a cupcake mold will actually be perfect for this recipe. If you don't have one, you can also use a Chinese bowl or a shot glass if you will. Whatever container you're using, just make sure the rim of the container is wider than the bottom of the container, so it can create a prettier rising pattern. My cupcake mold is made out of silicone, so it's non-stick, but if you're using porcelain, glass, or metal container, make sure you put a little olive oil coating onto the inner side of the container to prevent sticking. After that, put your mold into the steamer and pour your batter into 90% full. To create a beautiful rising cake, we want to make sure we fill up the batter as much as we can. When that's done, cover it up and let it steam in a preheat steamer for 20 minutes in high heat. Before you put in the cake, make sure to check your steamer if there's enough water in the pot. Because as soon as the steaming process starts, we cannot open the steamer until it's done. Opening the steamer during the steaming process might cause the cake to not rise as high as we want it to be. Now, 20 minutes have passed, open up the lid, and done! The Chinese brown sugar prosperity cakes are ready. Oh, it looks so pretty. The color is really beautiful too as well, isn't it? Brown sugar prosperity cake is meant to be eaten warm, but it also tastes good cold, your choice. The cake is super soft and fluffy, with a mild sweetness and a hint of coconut aroma. You can keep the leftover in the fridge, and to reheat a cake, steam it for 5 to 10 minutes again. Or if you want, you can also microwave. Now, while we're eating this cake and getting rich, let's learn some Chinese. The word of the day today is fa gao, the prosperity cake. As we mentioned earlier, the character fa means wealth, and it also means the fermentation and the rise action of the cake. And the last character gao means cake. So fa gao means rising cake, and we also call it the prosperity cake. Thank you for cooking with me today. Let me know if you like this recipe by giving this video a thumbs up. It's only gonna take you a second, but it means a lot to me. I make video on YouTube every Monday and Thursdays. Remember to hit that bell and you'll never miss out. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe on my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!